Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 587 of the Two Dumb Users. I want to say good morning. How you guys doing today, Mike Durpy?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Hanging in there?
Yeah, a little tired today.
I tell you what, we're starting to get a little bit of a weather change, which is crazy. You figure mid-August has always been the hottest time of the summer,
Yeah,
and here we are. I was chilly. I got a hoodie on today.
yeah. I'm cold. I'm freezing. I like the cold. I'm just not ready for this yet.
Yeah. It just feels like it should be really hot. I remember being even all the way up to the moment you started school. I
Hmm.
remember that first couple of days was always so hot, and I just used to think, "Oh
Yeah.
God, it's should be summer," but here it is,
No.
chilly,
Yeah.
man.
I don't
How you
like
doing
it.
to? Yep, what's up?
I said I don't like it. I like it a little bit warmer right now. I like the cold, but not this early.
Yeah,
Climate change. No, I'm joking.
how you doing, Derpy?
I'm doing great. Despite I'm doing better than Michael Hall Jr. today. Let's say that.
All right, you just
If
hang
you
in
saw
there.
that, if you saw that, I'm hanging in there.
I did not, but I'm going to take your word. Um, I do want to say good morning, everybody. Welcome. Derpy was at the big game the other night. He could not bring us home a victory, which is fine. That's fine with me. If it was regular season, I would be holding it personal, and but you know what? I'm okay. We
No,
lost.
I still blame Derpy for the loss and for
Well,
the
I mean,
fumbles.
I blame him
Of
because
course you would, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean that is his quarterback. um, but that yeah,
How did Fields become my quarterback?
no, Derpy's quarterback.
Oh yeah, Derpy's
That's
quarterback.
why it's
Okay.
his fault.
Yeah.
Steelers did lose 20-12 on Friday night. They have the Buffalo Bills coming to town this week. We got all kind of things we're going to talk about today. Guys, I want to start with this Brandon Ayuk situation. As far as I know, to this moment, nothing has been figured out. However, last night I seen that it started coming up again, and people were talking about it. It seems that every couple days it kind of goes away,
Mm-hmm.
but then it comes back, and then it comes away, and then it comes back. But every time it comes back, the story never really changes. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But this is the current status of the situation as we speak. Brandon Ayuk spoke about the trade rumors and negotiations, and this is the up to the minute word that I have. I can only drop you so many hints. You know where I want to be. John Lynch plays too much. I'm just waiting for him to take a deal so we can get to work for Coach Dad. He keeps calling Coach Tomlin Coach Dad. Uh, they don't want me anyway. Speaking of San Francisco, they got Debo, right? I'm just stuck in the bay until John stops half stepping, is the latest by Brandon Ayuk on this situation. Also, this is by Ian Rappaport. Latest from Ian Rappaport. He says 49ers are making one last push to sign Brandon Ayuk. If they're unable to come to an agreement, the 49ers will just trade Brandon Ayuk to the Steelers.
Hopefully they cannot come to an agreement.
I think the one side of the agreement doesn't really want to be there,
Yeah.
and that should be the most important factor here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. If if you don't like where you work, I don't think a lot of money is gonna make it better.
You're
I
right.
don't blame him. I don't
Yeah.
blame him because they choke a lot.
Well, I mean, we're not exactly
Yeah,
setting the
we're not
world on fire.
exaggerating the word. They were in the Super Bowl last year. I'd rather have a Super Bowl choke and then than losing in the first round of the playoffs.
However, they have
That's
lost
fair.
three Super Bowls since the '90s. They were the first team to
Yeah.
reach five and
Yes.
zero, and then we caught them and passed them, and they've lost three since. They've lost three since the 2000s, and 49ers. I think they lost to who? No, they lost. Who? I'm sorry, the Ravens they lost to, and then the Chiefs twice. Correct.
Correct. Yep.
Yes.
So I come on. To be honest, I think he'll be here. Don't you guys? You guys think they're going to get? It just seems like it's went on too long for
At
this.
this point, uh,
It's being kicked down the road. It's being stretched out for whatever reason. But ultimately, do you feel like he's going to end up being a Steeler, guys?
I'm not sure. I like
Same.
yeah, I hope he becomes a Steeler. I just don't know.
Right.
So how long it's taken to drag out. But
That's the part that's
but
encouraging to
his
me is
yeah,
the
is the
fact that it's
dragging out.
drawing. Yeah.
Yeah. And like normally, like, the price was going down for him. Then all of a sudden the price that San Francisco reportedly wants for him is going back up as it's dragging out. While Pittsburgh is, content to go, you know what? Okay, we'll wait as long as we can. We're starting to get comfortable with our offense and what we're seeing out there. Okay, we'll drag our feet as long as we have to with this guy. For you with you guys, John Lynch, and until you get a trade that we want to make, we're not going to pull the trigger. And they what reports that now they want Minka Fitzpatrick.
Right.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
They want Sanford asked if we're willing to trade Minka Fitzpatrick, Patrick Fryermuth, or George Pickens, along with a second or third round pick.
And all those guys right there are untouchable.
Oh, I agree, and it mainly, Mike, because of this. There's just no depth at those positions.
No, none.
No.
If you want Alex Highsmith, I'd be the first on board. I'd be slapping the stamp on him, sending him out to California.
Yeah.
But for one, let's go through these positions. George Pickens, we need another receiver just to have two starting, your 1 and 2. Minka Fitzpatrick, we listen, if he leaves, that means Miles Killebrew, KZ, and Deshaun Elliott are going to be your 3 safeties. Who's really filling in for Minka Fitzpatrick? Nobody's going to fill in for Minka.
No.
And then Pat Freiermuth will be the only. I mean, and still he's a no. He's a big no to me because again, you have nobody else. You have Mount Washington, but again, we still don't even know what's working with him, what isn't working with him. We're still feeling him out. I ask us for Alex Highsmith, and then ask us to sweeten the deal, throwing Dan Moore Jr. in, and we'll certainly we'll get right on that.
Yeah, like I wouldn't, I like Alex Highsmith. We've
I
talked
do
about that
too.
a lot. We've liked him ever since he came here. He produced as a rookie. He's got better year over year. But you do have Herbig there, and that if you want to get someone like Ayuk, you have to give someone in return.
Absolutely.
We talked about this before. You see it in other sports. You have to give to get. And yeah, I know the other day Terrell Austin said he was comfortable at the outside linebacker depth when we got Golden back because he's like, hey, we're 4 deep now. Now he's like, well, now we're kind of back to 3 deep. We got to see what we have with Jeremiah Moon. Now you trade Highsmith. Now you only got your 2 guys, but you spend all this money on defense. You got to spend money on offense.
Position that we're in every other position. It isn't like we're going to be hurt.
You can't have the depth everywhere that you want. Yeah. And he knows that, but as a coach, you want to have all the depth in the world that you can have. But yeah, that would be the only starter that I would trade. I wouldn't even I'm not a big Cam Hayward fan anymore, but there's worse depth on the D line than there is in the linebacker room. So if you would have to give a starter, Highsmith would be my guy, even though I like him as a player. I think he's a damn good player.
And I mean, it's not going to happen. They haven't acquired, but he'd be a nice addition. They have a nice defense down there. I've always thought that Brandon Ayuk was overpaid. I don't see him as the player that they make him out to be. I'm not saying he's not a good player. He's a very good player, but for the money that he's making, and again, I think that you could, and I don't want to say easily, but easily replace him. I really do. I think that throwing Herbig over on the other side, or I mean, just for one, I think that Herbig plays with a lot more intensity. I'm not saying that Alex Highsmith can't have a 14, 15, 16 sack season. I'm just saying that I like the other guy's intensity a lot better. And the only thing that he really has over Herbig, I think, is experience at this point.
Right.
What's that, Mike?
I agree. I think in the long run, Herbig will be the better player, even though Brian on the board is, he can't wait for Highsmith to have more sacks than TJ Watt.
And he might.
Watt would have to get hurt for that to have to happen.
And I don't think that it is going to happen. I like I say, there's a certain slowness to Alex Highsmith. And again, he's good. He's got, good skills, and he is quick. But there's just something that he lags. And I could see somebody like Herbig who has that motor on him, to
Mhm.
really be able to pick that up and pick up that slack. But again, he's not even in question. They do like Minka, they do like George Pickens, and they do like Pat Fryermuth in all positions that they already have. I mean, they already have
Oh
good
yeah,
receivers. They already have a good tight end. I mean,
they already have good safeties.
they got good safeties. Would you give up any one of those guys and a third round, Mike?
The only one would be Highsmith in a 3 is what I would do.
Yeah. And again, he's not even being mentioned.
No, but like that one trade that's going around is a 2 and a 3. I would make that trade because you would still have your first round pick. You would still have Ayuk, and you'd still have everyone else on your roster. To me, that would be the play right there.
Speaking of being in play, um, Juju Smith-Schuster is in play for the Steelers, of course, now because he has been cut. He has been cut by the worst team in the league. New England decides to get rid of him. So Juju Smith-Schuster, and you know what's so weird about people? I am looking on social media, and a lot of people want him back. There's a lot of Steeler fans that would love to have Juju back. Bring him back. Bring him back for another run. He did good last time he was here. Bring him back. If that ultimately became what we ended up doing and bringing in Juju, do you think we're any further along, same, or set back from where we were with Deontay Johnson on this team?
Oh, that's a huge step back. After he left here, Juju really did nothing. Yeah, he got that Super Bowl ring, but he was just a bit player, role player on that team. He's not a starter. My God, yeah, his knees are shot. No, I don't want him.
I do want to say good morning on the board, Brian. Now, I do want to straighten this out real quick. Brian's asking, and I've had this conversation with him before. He don't see how you I don't see how you guys like Pat Fryermuth over Alex Highsmith. What has Pat done? I think that the answer to this is clear. I think it's actually simple. Before last season, before we had the incident with these past couple years with this quarterback situation, this disaster with the offensive coordinator. Yes, the tight end production has gone down. However, his first 2 entire complete seasons, he had the same. No, only the numbers that were only better than him as a tight end in the first 2 years in the league were by Keith Byers. His catches and his yards, they've all came out for a tight end in the NFL for their first 2 complete seasons. Only one tight end in the history of the game has been better than Pat Fryermuth. Now, with that being said, 2 seasons ago, we ran into some issues. Of course, Ben retired, and nobody's having good seasons as far as receiving numbers on this team. Nobody. But that's why I like Pat Fryermuth. I have no reason not to like Pat Fryermuth. Pat has he's a good blocker. I mean, come on, he's not.
He's
a bad
an
blocker.
adequate blocker. Good in the field.
Mike, you're not
Yeah.
you're on the wrong side here. I'm defending your guy, so I need you to shut up.
I like both players, but last year Alex Highsmith had 7 sacks. Golden had 4. Herbig had 7. The backups were producing the same amount as him.
He could catch the ball. He has nice size. He's smart, and here's the thing that I like most about Pat Fryermuth. You ready for this? He's potentially going to make a play after he catches the ball, opposed to long list and history of white tight ends in the league who tend to catch the ball, get to the first tackler, and he takes you down. They're usually not very skilled, is what I'm trying to say. Where Pat Fryer, Mike, come on. I mean, tight ends, big white oafy tight ends.
Kittle.
Of course, you could say the top 5. Of course, but think of every white tight end you've seen in your life. You catch the ball, you turn. Who?
Hawkinson, Dallas Clark, Sam Laporta.
So you're going to argue that over time, the white tight ends are very athletic, and you would agree that most people would say that white tight ends have been very athletic. And
I would say since Gronkowski and the Travis Kelsey era,
I could say there's about 5 to 10 guys you could fit into that because it's a different position now. I can think of years and years and years and years and years and years and years that the tight end would catch the ball, turn upfield, take the tackle, and would be down. Now, what I'm saying again, Mike, as I'm defending your guy, and I'm going to stop here in a second if you don't, but he is the kind of player that can be one of these playmakers, like a Kittle. He don't have that size. He don't have a Gronk size, but I'm saying he is skilled enough to where I like having him around.
Yeah, he's the playmaking.
I don't understand
what
your argument is. I just don't understand.
No, I was just naming off other tight ends that have.
I know the tight ends. I know. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I don't know. Well, you're acting like he's a unicorn now. He's not.
Nobody said he's a unicorn. No, I'm just saying could potentially make a play.
He could potentially make those plays. Yeah.
I've seen him turn upfield and make plays where, again, my whole entire life, these big oversized white guys just were not able to make plays. They're very stiff. They're somewhat what you would say Darnell Washington is, just not very athletic.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's our offensive weapon at 10, and we have more.
So let's get rid of him. I mean, if you have all this beef, Mike, let's just. Why do you?
I have no fucking beef. Why are you acting like this?
Well, I'm not. You started picking at every positive thing I was saying about your guy, who I normally wouldn't even do.
He's not my guy. What do you mean? He's my guy just because he won.
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't make him my guy.
Like, it makes him your guy for the past 3 seasons. He was your guy, but all of a sudden now he's not your guy.
What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? I don't know what you're getting.
I'm proving a point.
Guy. He's my guy. No, I want to
okay, so let's move on. He's not your guy. You don't like Pat Fryermuth. You've never ever talked about him.
I never fucking said that. I don't know what the hell your problem is right now.
That's not my problem. The point, the focus that I'm saying is the argument of what Brian would say. He is a good tight end to have on your team. He's a good tight end. That's the point I'm trying to make. How you had anything against that?
Yes, I was just, oh my god, no. I would rather, I would trade Highsmith because we have better depth at the tight end position. Or better depth, at the outside linebacker position, and we don't have a skilled tight end after Pat Fryermuth.
I think Darnell Washington is skilled, and I think he will come along. And as a matter of fact, now I want him to be our starter, as of about 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, I can tell.
But there were some moves that were made over the past couple of days, guys. The Steelers, they did get Tykeem Doss off the waivers from Baltimore. He's a little bit of some offensive line help. Again, you get these guys in waivers. You don't know what you're getting. You might be getting a diamond in the rough. You may have seen something in this player in the past that this team isn't seeing. If you could grab him, but they did. They grabbed Tykeem Doss. Also, Mike, there was a few other things that happened here. Kalon Barnes. He played 33 snaps. He was cut by the Steelers. I thought there was somebody else on the list, but that's all I'm seeing at the moment.
Someone was put on IR too, like some lower tier player.
Yeah.
I can't remember who.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to go through here and see if I could find the person that I'm missing. I know there's somebody that I'm missing here, but I did know also, Mike, yesterday at practice, this should be encouraging because he will be starting this Saturday. Russell Wilson, I guess he threw a nice 80-yard touchdown pass to 80+ yard touchdown pass to Calvin Austin during practice. That's always a good sign to see your starting quarterback.
Oh,
I like to see Calvin Austin be included because this guy's fast. I think he has potential to make big plays, but I don't want him being our number 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is nice number 4 guy to have, and apparently his route running this year has improved so much more. If you add that with his quickness, he can get open on those routes faster. Look out. That would be a nice little weapon to have in your back pocket, not just as a gadget play guy.
It's always nice to have good things happen to you at practice when Joey Porter is in town. Joey Porter was at the practice yesterday helping out. It's always nice to see Peasy back out on the field.
Oh, yeah. He needs to be in the Ring of Honor soon, too. I think he got snubbed this year.
Yeah, I do, too. Chase Claypool watch, guys. Big news on Chase Claypool.
Oh, that's huge news.
He is out for the season. That's right. Chase Claypool is out for the season. I like it. I like this guy. He's never going to get it together. At this point,
he's not.
He's had so many opportunities to revamp himself in a new environment, and he just keeps blowing it. He keeps blowing it. He's on the injury list. He's out for the season. I don't know entirely what the situation is up there, but Mike, I just do know this: he is out for the season. Chase Claypool is done.
He's still collecting an NFL paycheck somehow. More power to him, I guess.
Absolutely.
And just being tall and fast is going to help you. Teams are going to, we can find something. We can find something.
No, you can't.
No.
You never had a project like this, believe me.
This guy had 7 good games.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, his first 7 games were amazing. You thought, man, boy, do we got something here. Boy, do we have something nobody else has.
Yeah, that didn't last long.
That did not last long at all. Also, another thing that I didn't notice, guys, over last weekend when all the games were on, I didn't realize that all 4 of our division teams lost, which again in the playoffs is absolutely nothing. But I went and I'm looking and I thought, man, nobody in the division won.
Yeah, best division in football, my ass.
And I thought to myself, yeah. Well, that was my segue because I just did read this yesterday. But all right, check this out. Speaking of best division in the NFL, winning percentage in non-division games since 2020. Let me talk about the AFC North first. The AFC North has a 106-63 record in that period of time against those particular teams since 2020 against non-division teams with a 62.6%. Mike, then there's a huge gap.
Oh, yeah, it's a big drop off.
And then it's like 50, what is it, like 50 something, 54?
Yeah.
And then it's the NFC West would be the second best division in the league, the AFC West, the AFC East, the NFC East, which I think is funny because that's your Eagles and your Cowboys, NFC North, NFC South, who I figured would be the worst division.
Yeah.
But they're saying the AFC West. The AFC West, really? The Broncos, the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Chiefs. I guess if you take the Chiefs out of it, the other 3 teams haven't had much successes of late. But according to what we've done against non-division opponents over the past 3 seasons, they do fall in last. And the Steelers are, the AFC North, is way ahead of the pack again with a 62.6%. It was 106-63. And I do want to make a correction, Mike, from yesterday. I was talking about the Steelers division record, and I had said they went 5-1. That was 2 seasons ago. Last season they went 3-3. They lost one against Baltimore, 17-10 both games. They lost one and won one against Cleveland, and again with Cincinnati. We were 3-3 against the division last year, 5-1 2 seasons ago. I'm going to save that till we get over to baseball.
Okay.
I guess, and I think you're going to see why when I get there. So just hang loose on that. Other news yesterday, Mike, the Steelers they jumped the gun. They said, you know what, this guy's hurt, but I'm going to name him our tackle right now. We're going to name him a starter. Of course, I'm talking about Troy Fautanu. Mike, he got named while being injured. Rookie Troy Fautanu is named as of yesterday. He's starting right tackle on the Steelers football team.
I like it. The less I see Dan Moore in the lineup, the happier I will be.
Clap it up.
I say you do with all 3 of them guys. You get your 3 stable players of the future on this line. You put them in there and you just make them work. You put them, throw them little wolves, and like you've seen the other day, Nate Herbig isn't exactly setting the world on fire where you can't put Frazier in. Along with other people. So I say you put your 2 tackles, your center, see them all, get your line together, get them out there, put your starters on who you ultimately know who you want. But those are the guys you pick in your first round. These are first round draft picks. You got to get them on the line, in the lineup, and have them play. Otherwise, and I understand that Mike Tomlin doesn't like to play rookies a lot, but at some point you got to throw these guys in. We don't exactly have great depth. We have a little depth. Especially at the guard position now with McCormick, of course, and guys like this. But the tackles, just get these guys in and let them get their reps. These are your guys. What are you going to do?
Yeah, you let them get that live action, like they say, in stadium experience, and go out there. That line needs to be left to right. Jones, Seumalo, Frazier, Daniels, Fautanu. And just let them go out there, play a few series this week, play a few series next week, and they get ready for the regular season. They no more messing around of trying to figure out who's going to be your left, who's going to be your right tackle.
Yeah, come on.
Get these guys in there, get them in there, and go. Herbig, he's not a center. He can be in a pinch, I guess, but I think he should be fighting
in the
for
same
a spot.
way that IKF came in a pinch and threw in the 9th inning for the Yankees. You know what I mean? Like that kind of pinch. It's got to be
Yeah. He needs to be like Frazier needs to be. I was gonna say a broken leg, but he played with a broken leg in college. Frazier needs to be dead before I want to see Herbig take another snap as a starter.
He is a little beast. Let's talk some quarterbacks, guys. The Steelers did name Russell Wilson for the starter. He will be starting against Buffalo this Saturday when the Bills come to town. Of course, they will be in town a little bit early for some joint practices. But when it comes down to it, you will have your starter this week. I guess your presumable starter for the season. People believe that he will be starting. I believe he will be starting when the season starts. Nothing against Justin Fields, and not saying that Justin Fields can't start in the future. I'm just saying what I do believe. Starting this season off in Atlanta and in Denver, I do think they want Russell Wilson to be that guy. I could be wrong, but I can't see Russell Wilson not being the starter when they go to Denver in week 2. I think it's at least going to go that long. They're going to feel this out, see how it's going. Hey, if Russell Wilson goes out and has eight interceptions in the first 2 games, I'm more than happy to get Justin Fields in the lineup. I have no beef. I want to win football games. I don't care if Fields, I don't care if it's Allen, I don't care if it's Russell Wilson, and I don't care if it's the guy that runs out with the Gatorade bottles during this timeout. Mike, I really don't. As long as this football team keeps winning, finding ways to win, anything that makes this team look like a football team compared to what happened the past 2 seasons, I'm down. I'm taking it because luckily that was our down years.
Yeah.
So hopefully we could pick back up and start doing something.
I want to see how this offense looks with Russell Wilson running the show with,
absolutely,
a few live snaps that they had under their belt. I want to see how that's going to go. And just to see the difference between the way the 2 offenses run. I want to see how it goes. I want to see, what kind of connection he has with the receivers, because he hasn't had a whole lot of practice time. So the more he can get out there in this game with Pickens, with Freiermuth, with Van Jefferson, I want to see that connection build, because Fields has the advantage there. He's been getting a lot of the first team snaps, but he's building that chemistry with the receivers. Now it's time for Russ to play catch up. But, a guy who's been around the block and back again, I don't think it's going to take him that long to establish that connection. But like I said, I want to see how he runs the offense compared to the way the offense ran with Fields in there.
Absolutely. It's very, very, it's going to be very interesting. I know a lot of people are going to be watching television, watching the Steeler game Saturday, which is no surprise anyway, but I do, people they're ready to see who their quarterback is going to be and what's going to work for us, what isn't going to work for us. Mike, let's talk about a couple less experienced quarterbacks. First one I want to talk about is J.R. Plumlee taking reps at receiver yesterday at camp. He did run a couple plays from the wide receiver position. So now Plumlee is not only our 4th-string quarterback and our kick returner, he's also taking throws. Mike, this guy is going to make the team. He should make the team. I think that this guy makes the team a little bit more scary because they do have that guy. They do have a guy that they could line up on, in the slot. They do have a guy that they could just do so many different things with. And I'm going to be honest with you, at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if they use him at defense at some point. This guy is that valuable kind of player, but unfortunately, those kind of players don't always necessarily have a home. Look at a guy like Taysom Hill Hill is his last name in New Orleans. He could be that kind of player, but as you notice with the Saints, that player doesn't always have a place to go, which is unfortunate because they're very skilled, very athletic, and could be very productive. But you positions are set in the NFL certain ways, and sometimes it's just hard to get a guy like that in the lineup. And you've seen the Saints struggle to use Hill over the years at certain times when they're in games where it's close and they have a chance to win. You can only pull out the stop so much because now we see, hey, this dude's in the game. They're probably going to do something. Yep. It's not like the days when Cordell Stewart/Slash was here. People weren't quite expecting it yet. I like J.R. Plumlee. I think J.R. Plumlee is going to make this team with flying colors, but I just don't know to what extent they're going to be able to use him in the NFL, Mike.
Yeah, I think primarily it's going to be him and Cordell Patterson back there and returning. And I can see.
And I like that.
I like that too because you kick off to his side. He has the ability to throw that lateral across. So the team's got to kind of prepare for that. I don't think Danny Smith's going to pull that out in the
And
preseason.
what's that guy that was here a couple years ago that we hated, the white guy that they made return punts and kicks
Oh, the one who was like a real good returner. He was a Pro Bowler.
until he got here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want
I
him
know
to
who
be
you're
that
talking
guy
about.
before he got here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I want him to be. That would be nice because you get him and Patterson back there. Yeah, Cordella Patterson might, he is the modern day best kick returner we have. You look at by stats and touchdowns, get him, you get Plumlee, it'd be nice. Plumlee a little. I would freak out if they put out Wilson, Fields, and Plumlee all lined up at different positions out there.
But you see, they can do that. They can do
Yeah.
it. I like that they can do it. Go ahead. Dirk,
It would be kind of funny. Like who's gonna, they're gonna hand off here, hand off there, pass, lateral.
And you know what? They could almost do something similar to what the Ravens were doing whenever Lamar had that really good season a couple years back, where you didn't know what they were going to do. They would line running backs up beside him. They would line tight ends, and you didn't know if he was handing the ball off. You didn't know if Lamar was going to take off. There's just, these really skilled players you could add to your game so much. I'm excited. I think J.R. Plumlee makes this team. I don't think there's any way that he doesn't make this team. And if somebody does grab him off waivers, whatever, they will. We will be sorry. I promise you that. Who's the guy, Mike? The guy from Iowa that everybody wanted, the white guy?
Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean. Anybody hear anything about him lately?
No, he's in Philly. I know he was with their first round pick. So
was he doing any good?
I don't know. I haven't been tracking him.
I heard Kenny Pickett did okay, but I heard nothing.
About Cooper DeJean. I know. I haven't heard anything about Cooper DeJean. I'm struggling on the Team White lineup. I gotta research that. So when Mendenhall comes down for the Pro Bowl this year, we got Team White squared away.
Well, Team White's getting there. You don't worry about that. Those other 10, 15 years, we'll be able to.
I know we need another, 20 years to find like another 3 defensive backs to.
Well, now that they're creating I was reading that the neuro chip, like people that have never been able to see, now they could see.
Oh, this is what we're gonna have to do for.
Well, this is what we're gonna have to hope to
do for corners,
white guys
safeties,
to be able to run
and
fast.
wide receivers.
Yeah, if you want white guys to run with the speed that black guys run with, we need this kind of technology.
Yeah.
But I'm interested. I thought that Cooper. Of course I knew that we had more needs, but I thought Cooper DeJean would have been a good athlete to have. But you know what? Like I said, this Plumlee, I don't think we're going to be disappointed, guys. I was very surprised at his ability. I've heard of the things he was doing down in Central Florida, but Mike, what I seen the other day, I was very impressed.
Derpy, if he was New England, he would be a slot receiver under Belichick.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? He would probably be an all-star. He'd have 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Derpy, you were saying something. I'm sorry.
That returner was Ryan Switzer.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Oh, Switzer. Boy, I hated him.
He was terrible.
Them guys are so hit or miss. They get like a Switzer. Like you said, with New England, the guy would be doing great. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, we get all their cast-offs.
Well, speaking of cast-offs, Mike, and quarterbacks, one more former Steeler quarterback briefly was here, I think, for about 6 hours. Ben DiNucci, he did sign with the Buffalo Bills. So now that everybody has everybody else's backup quarterbacks and ready to go, of course, DiNucci didn't play a snap here. He came here briefly during the offseason, and he wasn't here too long. But Ben DiNucci from Pine Ridge High School and the XFL, I do believe, is signed by the Buffalo Bills. Mike, and I also have something here for you that I think is going to be a little bit of fun if we're going to talk about backup quarterbacks. I have found a list, Mike, of the teams that are, ranking teams by their backup quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull it up here in just a sec. Once I can find it. There it is, Mike. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is your top 10 teams in their backup quarterbacks, and this is ranking them. I'm going to start from number 10 and work my way up, Mike. The New England Patriots have the 10th best backup quarterback in Drake May, according to this list, Mike. Yeah,
this hasn't taken a snap in the NFL.
Yeah, this is the Pro Football Network's. They did make this number 9. This is the 9th best backup quarterback in the NFL, Joshua Dobbs, out in San Francisco. And let me put something to you this way.
I would think he would be higher.
If Dobbs and Purdy were both here, I guarantee they'd stink. You know what I mean? Why did these guys go elsewhere? And I mean, I don't know.
I don't
It's
know.
a Pittsburgh thing.
Yeah, it is. Well, I like Dobbs. I think it was just like a numbers game.
I think he should be higher.
All right. Well, let me continue. We'll see if you think that here in a minute. Number eight on the best quarterback rankings, backup quarterback rankings. Number 8, the Jets, Tyrod Taylor.
Mm.
And we're talking backups, guys. We're talking backups. I can't even, a lot of times you don't even realize who a team's backup is.
Not a bad backup.
Not bad.
Number 7, down in Carolina, backing up Bryce Young, Andy Dalton. Again, backups, guys.
No.
I'm not talking about a guy that's going to lead us to a championship. These are back. This is a good backup, I think. Andy Dalton. Number 6, in Las Vegas, their backup quarterback, Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
I think
he's really good. And he proved he
might be higher.
He's a competent starter as well.
I agree. I see. That's what I'm saying with this list. These names sound hit or miss, but again, let me continue. Number 5, the 5th best backup quarterback in the NFL for the Indianapolis Colts, Joe Flacco.
Really?
He did some good things with Cleveland.
Yeah, if he can hold on to that magic that he found for another year or two, really good backup to have.
Number 4 of best backup quarterback rankings in the NFL, Cincinnati's Jake Browning.
I think when he filled in last year for Carson Palmer. Wow. For Joe Burrow, excuse me.
There was moments where I thought, okay, this dude's good.
He could look really good.
All right, so now we're up to the top 3, 1, 2, and 3. Let me give you a rundown, Mike. 4 through 10, Jake Browning, Joe Flacco, Gardner Minshew, Andy Dalton, Tyrod Taylor, Josh Dobbs, and also Drake May. I'm down so far.
Yeah.
Number 3, the 3rd best backup quarterback in the NFL, guys. The Cleveland Browns, Jameis Winston.
Yeah, that's fair.
Derpy, you like out?
I think he should be lower.
Okay. Number 2, the 2nd best backup quarterback in the NFL, guys. The LA Rams, Jimmy Garoppolo.
He should be lower.
Might be a little higher, but good backup.
A good backup, right? I mean, he served as starter, and nothing great. He's Derek Carr-ish.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, and finally, guys, the top backup quarterback in the NFL, according to the Pro Football Network, is Justin Fields. Is he the best backup in the NFL, guys?
I think, because I think he was a better starter than those guys, and he would be,
So you would trust Justin Fields over Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah.
Yep. Gardner Minshew.
Ooh, that's a tie right there.
That is a tie because Minshew's very skilled.
Yeah.
And again, let me give you this quick 10 names: Fields, Garoppolo, Winston, Browning, Joe Flacco, Minshew, Dalton, Tyrod Taylor, Josh Dobbs, and Drake May.
Yeah, Fields and Minshew are the only ones I would trust to, if my starter went down for the year, to play all year. Everyone else are great stopgaps.
Yeah, I agree.
Can you guys carry the show without me for 5 minutes? Something came up.
Man. All right, Derpy, it's me and you. Mike has to go take a big shit, so we're gonna fill the void while he's doing that. Derpy, I did go over the picks yesterday for last week's games. I do want to inform you that you did lose by only 2 games. You only lost by 2 games. Let me give you the rundown real quick. I gave him to Mike yesterday. The Dolphins-Falcons game. The Dolphins won, which Mike did pick that. The Eagles-Ravens. The Eagles won. Both you guys picked the Ravens. The Jets and Commanders. You picked the Jets and won that game. Bears and Bills. Bears won. Mike picked the Bears. Viking-Raiders. Vikings win. Mike picked the Vikings. Green Bay. You guys both picked Green Bay. They won. You guys both picked Jacksonville. They won. You guys both picked the Buccaneers. They won. You guys both picked the Titans, and they won. You guys both picked the Seahawks, and they won. Arizona and New Orleans. You picked New Orleans. You won. Indianapolis, you guys both picked the Colts and they lost to Denver. You guys both picked the Rams. They won. And Mike picked the Steelers, which ultimately gave him a 2-game lead. But Derpy, there's no need to be discouraged. It is week 1 of the preseason. Long way to go. And you know how Mike, he gets on those losing streaks. So once he gets on those losing streaks, I think that you're going to do well. Plus, it's, again, it's preseason. You guys are getting a feel. You're getting a feel for your picks. We will do the picks later on in the week for this weekend's game. But I would not be discouraged if I were you, Derpy, because you made a pretty good run last year.
Indeed.
I do want to say good afternoon to P on the board. I agree with you, P. I think that he has the experience and he knows what he's looking at. And if it wasn't for Brock Purdy having this crazy beginning to his career, I think Jimmy Garoppolo would still be the man out in San Francisco. He says Jimmy G as a backup gives you decent Super Bowl odds. He is a luck charm of mediocrity. Yes, he's that. And if you
I can agree to that.
Right. And if you can't get your hands on an elite quarterback, if you can't get your hands on one of the main guys, which there's only a handful on this planet, I'm convinced of it. But if you can't, manage to pull one of these better quarterbacks, I think the next tier down is what you're going to have. And it's Jimmy Garoppolo and guys like this. And you know what, at the end of the day, if that's what you have to roll with, that's what you have to roll with. Right, Derpy?
Right.
I mean, you want guys that you want, but at the end of the day, you can't always have it. Of course, we've just experienced that over the past 2 seasons with the Pickett, Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph experience. But here we are, guys. I think we're all a little bit happier with what we have now. I can't wait. I can't wait to see Russell Wilson. I got to see Fields. I thought he looked good. I thought he looked good. A couple muffs early in the game, but you know what? Preseason game 1, you expect that.
Also, I would blame it on the line a little bit with the Fields, but
I would too. But again, as I stated yesterday, Derby, there's not a lot that I'm going to complain about from this game. I'm going to take from it what I've seen, and I'm going to talk about the bad, and I'm going to talk about the good. But you know what? At the end of the day, it is preseason game 1.
Right. Exactly.
And there's so much football to be played. You have 20 games on your schedule, 17 regular season, 3 pre. We got 1 under our belt. We got 2 more preseason. We're going to be playing Buffalo at home. Then we go on the road to Ford Field, where we won Super Bowl 40, to take on Detroit next weekend. Then we'll be getting ready to kick it off for a 17-game season and potentially even more. We want to get to the playoffs. We want to win some playoff games this year and hopefully further. At the end of the day, Brandon Ayuk, I think, will help that out a lot if we can pull that off, Derpy. Every day, I get up and check my phone to see if there's anything I missed. If Adam Schefter or whoever, Ian Rappaport, as soon as they mentioned that Brandon Ayuk is coming to Pittsburgh, it'll take a load. It'll take a load off my shoulders as a fan, because I do think that this seriously increases the Steelers' chances, Derpy, of doing exactly what it is that the fans want, and ultimately what the Steelers want to do. But man. Is there anybody, if we don't get Ayuk, Derpy, that you would, who you believe should be the next target to try to get here? I mean, people have been saying names lately of CeeDee Lamb.
I would like CeeDee Lamb.
Of course, we
but
talked about
the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys.
We talked
They'll
about
ask for too much.
Oh, of course. We talked about it earlier. Juju Smith-Schuster is now on the table. I don't know to what extent. What's the guy that's in Denver?
Sutton.
Yeah. I mean, Cortland Sutton, he was talked about earlier. I still don't, I don't know if he's still on the table, but there are going to be moves to be made. And again, I think ultimately Omar Khan and Clan know what it is that they want to do. And I know that they're trying to get Brandon Ayuk. And you know what? I think that's best case scenario.
Devontae Adams is maybe another name too. He might not be happy in Raiders.
Montravius Adams just signed this morning with the Washington Commanders. Just as of this morning, Martavius. You said Martavius. Oh, wait. Who'd you say?
Devontae Adams.
Mike. Martavius Bryant signed with the Washington Commanders this morning. So, of course, he was the former Steeler. I thought.
Yeah.
He was doing okay. Got in a little trouble. Spent some time in some of our sub leagues, but he is back. Mike Martavius Bryant signed by the Washington Commanders. And who did you say one more time, Derpy? Just I'm losing my mind.
Devontae Adams, I said, was another name
Devontae
out there, too.
Adams. Yeah. And he's another one that's out floating and could end up on a different team. But we will see, Mike. Still hoping, fingers crossed. Let's get us some Brandon Ayuk, baby.
Brandon, oh, I want that to happen so bad.
Brian on the board says Van Jefferson is really good. I like him. Wilson works his way.
I do too. I do too.
I thought here's the thing: these young these young receivers, you could tell you're going to get production out of them because they're all competing and they're all trying to get the job and they're all trying to make the team. And and some of these guys aren't exactly young anymore. Your Van Jeffersons and your guys that's been around for a few years. I think you're going to get top production out of these guys because they're trying to prove that they should be here. And Van Jefferson should be here, and Quez shouldn't, and Fitzpatrick should, and this guy shouldn't, and Scotty Miller. So I do think that we're going to see good production out of this team, especially being a pass-hungry city at this moment, Mike, because we sat around for 3 years and watched what we did. I think anything more than a 5-yard pass is going to excite Steeler fans.
Oh, yeah, it's going to get, you throw that first pass, 7 yards downfield across the middle, the Yinzer Nation's going to explode.
Yeah. Of course, Hassan Reddick, Mike, he was the 2-time Pro Bowler. He asked to be traded for the second time this offseason yesterday from the Jets. Hassan Reddick, where does he end up landing?
I can see the Jets saying, you know what, you just sit home and we're going to keep finding you. That's more or less what they said.
Okay.
In a press release. So I can see them doing that. They're tired of Aaron Rodgers pushing them around. So I think they're going to put their foot down on Hassan Reddick. He wanted out of Philly to get paid. They trade him to to the Jets. He was happy to go there. And then they still have yet to work out a new contract for him.
I think he's into the wrong green. He's out there trying to make money, but he keeps going to teams that have green uniforms and goes elsewhere to the money, my man. Also, Mike, one more thing about football, and then we got to start heading a different direction here with the time. This guy, now this is going to be somewhat relatable to baseball, so bear with me. This Jaron Duran of Boston, he's suspended for 2 games for anti-gay slurs that he made toward a fan, apparently. Well, it comes as no surprise, Mike, Derpy, on CTE SPN, Antonio Brown.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, I'm not ready for this.
Named Jaron Duran, the Boston Red Sox, who was suspended for making a gay slur. Faggot of the day.
That is the appropriate use of that award right there. You call someone that, you are that. That is the award for you. Well done, AB. AB's occasionally trying to help with race relations. Now he's trying to help,
Yes.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Duran from Boston is faggot of the day, according to
you want to call someone
Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
AB's like not on my watch. I will not have homophobia on my watch.
Mike, unfortunately we have to jump ship. It's a time thing. We got to jump over to the Pittsburgh Pirates ship, if you will.
Why, Ryan? Why?
Pirates, they lose their 8th straight last night in this terrible 10 that I coined about a week and a half ago. And I'm going to refer to this terrible 10 anytime I talk about the 2024 season for the rest of my life, because this is what it was. This is the furthest they've been under 500 all season. Their record's 56-62. They're in last place now, 11 games out, 6 games out of the wild card spot. Not only are they fallen, Mike, they're fallen, and they're falling fast. The Pittsburgh Pirates, stick the fork in them. This team, Mike, 8 straight losses. I don't see that changing tonight. They have the Padres tomorrow. They have the Padres, and then after a day off, they come home to play a red-hot Seattle Mariner team, who I expected the terrible 10 to finish after the Padres series. But now that I'm looking at what the Seattle Mariners are doing, Mike, it might continue, and boy, it's hard to watch.
Oh, this is an epic free fall. It's depressing because, like you said, how close they were, and there's no sign of life with this team. And the way they lost yesterday, like, are you serious? Like, we can't even buy a bloop single.
There's no fight. This team has no fight
Yeah.
anymore.
No, they're done. They're dead. They're
They had
buried.
minimal fight to begin with.
Yeah, this is like we talked about. Like you said, you've run into those teams in September that are done, and this is where you can catch up ground. We are that team now. We are one of those doormats now. One of those teams that people that are still in the chase are going to beat up on.
A couple interesting pitching notes, Mike. Moving forward, tomorrow's game. Today's going to be Luis Ortiz versus Michael King. Luis Ortiz comes in with a 5-2, Michael King with a 9-6. But tomorrow, Mitch Keller is going to be facing none other than Martin Perez, who we just traded to the Padres at the deadline. So 4:10 tomorrow, game 3 of 3 of the Padres series, last game of the road stand before they head home to play the Mariners. We will see our old friend Martin Perez.
Get ready for Martin Perez to pitch the gem of his career. He's just going to pitch. I'm calling it right now. He's going to a one-hit shutout.
He's gonna get a no hitter.
He says
Ooh.
they're the boys of not summer. And check this out. You want to hear something else interesting about our pitchers, Mike?
Yeah.
Marco Gonzalez, done for the season. Thrown on a 60-day IL yesterday. Season over. So there's the surplus that the Pirates had, because you got to think Priester left at the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Perez left at the deadline. Gonzalez is done for the year. We're waiting for Jared Jones to get back. That anything that was good for us is now gone. The only thing you have looked forward to is Paul Skeens starts, and for basically just the reason to sit there and look at Paul Skeens, because it isn't like the team is going to do much beyond that to win baseball games, as they showed the past 2 starts for him. But they're done. Stick a fork in them, Mike. Boys of not summer. Here they are.
It's God, this team's going to do worse than I thought, man. I was saying like 81, 82 wins in that range. Sheesh.
Yeah, I
close to hit 80.
Mike, the team needs to go 26-19 to have a winning season. The rest
Not
of the
gonna
way,
happen.
26-19. Now with the schedule they have next month, if they were still if they weren't in this 8-game skid,
yeah,
and I seen moving forward what we have, maybe. But after this 8-game losing streak, they're going to lose tonight. They're going to lose tomorrow. They're going to lose these 10 in a row. I called it. I said they'll be lucky to win 2. And they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it, Mike. They're not going to win.
Watch them. I want them to actually drop their next 44 games.
I do too. I want them to lose every single one of them.
Get that first place pick back, or that number 1 overall pick, and just move on, because that's all they want. They want draft picks. This is, you could have had Jazz Chisholm for like your number 8 and number 9 prospects.
Mike, what was it
even
yesterday?
Less than that.
Jazz Chisholm's on a pace to hit 94 home runs in a season. If in fact, he would continue doing what he's doing, that's just the numbers in New York since he's went to the Yankees. Derpy, Jazz Chisholm, the numbers so far he's putting up with the Yankees, he is on pace to have like 94 home runs if he would continue this through the duration of the season. He's doing amazing up there. Amazing.
They lost last night.
Who, the Yankees did?
Yeah, 12-2 to the White Sox.
And our guy that we got, though, I mean, he had 3 hits the other day in his first, I don't know how many ever games, but yesterday he did go 2 for 4. Let me talk a little bit about this game, guys. Pirates lose 2-1 to the Padres. They actually out-hit San Diego 7-6. Woodford gets the start. He didn't look bad. He threw 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walk. He had 2 strikeouts. Nicholas Beeks and Santana came in the rest of the way. 2-1, you take the L, 8 in a row. Ortiz, okay, Brian De La Cruz had 2. He went 2 for 4. He had a run. O'Neill Cruz went 2 for 3 with a walk. Andrew McCutchen, Rowdy Tellez, and IKF all had 1 hit.
It's depressing that
Joey Bart had a walk. Game 2 of 3 is tonight at 4:30. That is a Luis Ortiz. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you cut out there. I thought you finished your thought. My bad. I was just gonna say it's depressing that Kutch, in his advanced age, fighting through injuries, is still one of our best players on the team.
He just had 2 home runs 2 nights ago. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You can't make this guy do all your work. It's just
Yeah.
crazy. These coaches should be fired. If I tell you what, if Derek Shelton's back next year, I'll be very surprised. But I won't be surprised because of the organization, of course.
Yeah.
But just for the common sense sake, I'd be very surprised if he's a coach here next year.
Yeah.
But Mike, continuing what I was saying, Luis Ortiz versus Michael King tonight. This game is at 9:40. That is game 2 of 2. Thank God it's Steelers season, guys.
I know.
Thank God.
I can't wait until Bucko season's done and it's just nothing but Steelers from here on out. But once regular season starts, dude, the Pirates are just going to be background noise and everything in this town. I can't wait.
And you know what? And here's the thing about football season, it's not just the NFL. Your favorite college teams are playing Saturday. And there's people like myself and a lot of people in Texas and certain areas of the country, they love their high school football. So I mean, once football starts,
it's all consuming, man.
And I would try, don't get me wrong, if the Pirates are still in the race, and I do remember back in 10 years ago, and I followed them and I was into it. As a matter of fact, I went to the playoffs. I'm into it. But guys, once football season starts this year, pros, college, high school, all the wheels are in motion. Pirates are done. So stick a fork in them, guys. 8 in a row as of last night. I say they lose 10 in a row. And I'm learning that the Seattle team is very hot, who's coming to Pittsburgh next over the weekend. So it may continue, Mike. It just might continue. And at this point, like you said, you got to kind of root from the lose, right?
Yeah. I want that draft pick. The past.
I don't want them to win now. Come on.
No. At this point, it's all about getting that better draft pick higher up in the board, baby.
And 2, you couldn't do it when you had to.
Yeah.
You needed to do it to stay. But I mean, come on. Mike, they have the worst record in the National League since the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
Speaks volumes.
But right now, the record doesn't show it, but they are the worst team in baseball right now. It's the way they're playing. 10-game losing streak. Come on.
And this isn't the Cleveland Guardians yet. This isn't the Philadelphia Phillies. I mean, these are average teams that are playing good baseball. Don't get it twisted. But again, you're not playing the best teams in the league. It's not good.
Yeah, it's a travesty.
Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website, man?
The2dumbyinjers.com. Head on over there. Especially if you're new here, check it out, man. We got the blog over there. We got the merch store, your 2 Dumb Yinzers merch. That's why they play 162. That's Derpy's favorite saying during baseball season. That's a t-shirt over there. And then, we got all the links to all of our social media conveniently over there, all at the2dumbyinjers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. A lot of cool things over there. www.the2dumbyinjers.com. That's www.the2dumbyinjers.com. Derpy, how you feel about the Buffalo Bills?
I feel that without Allen, they're nothing.
I agree. I agree 100%, actually. But the point for me asking, guys, is because today's trivia question, because we do play Buffalo this weekend, is going to be a Buffalo Bills question. Derpy, yesterday, the question for Mike was, what was the Buffalo Bills record last season? Mike, what was the record? 11-6.
I believe so. Yeah, for Buffalo.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
So we are sticking with the Buffalo Bills questions because, of course, that is who the Steelers play this
11-6.
week. So here we go. Nothing's going to change. More of the same. Here we go. Buffalo Bills. Mike, Derpy, put your thinking caps on, guys on the board. Play along. People at home also play along. Here we go. Who eliminated the Bills from the playoffs last season? Who eliminated the Bills from the playoffs last season? Guys, take a moment to think that over. We are live 5 days a week right here on YouTube, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Every day, we're currently working on getting this podcast to where it needs to be. Just get that back out in podcast form. It's coming slowly but surely, but right now, and more than likely through the rest of the week, we'll be just right here on YouTube. And as soon as we get things set up back on Spotify, we'll certainly relay that information to you so you could then enjoy the podcast, if that be your choice. But Mike, Derpy, the question of the day is this: Who eliminated the Buffalo Bills from the playoffs last season? Derpy, I'm going to start with you. And it's funny because Brian on the board says Scott Norwood, which is his answer every day this week. Before I asked the Buffalo Bill question, his answer has been Scott Norwood. But Derpy, the question of the day is this: Who eliminated the Buffalo Bills from the playoffs last season? Do you know which team it was?
I know it is the Kansas
Hold
City.
on,
Oh, my bad.
because your name's Derpy.
Oh, my bad. I was double checking Twitter and I zoned out.
Derpy, who knocked the Buffalo Bills out of the playoffs last year? P on the board says Miami. Who do you think?
Kermit the Frog and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to lock Derpy in place. Now, Brian on the board is saying Kansas City. He changed his answer from Scott Norwood, of course, to Kansas City. P says Miami. Mike, question of the day: Who eliminated the Buffalo Bills from the playoffs last season? Derpy says Kansas City. Got a mix on the board. What do you think?
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Interesting.
Yep.
That's your final answer.
Final answer.
All right. Locking you in. All right, guys. Question of the day. Who eliminated the Bills, our opponent this week, from the playoffs last season? It surely wasn't us. It was the guys. Both say the Kansas City Chiefs. P on the board says Miami. The answer is, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs. They did beat the Bills to go on to play who? The Ravens?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What's up?
I was just reading a Schefter tweet. Sorry.
Oh, nothing important?
No, it was
Okay.
just McCarthy tore his meniscus.
Who did?
JJ McCarthy up in Minnesota.
I was going to say, that's kind of big for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. He was battling for a starting spot.
Yeah,
Him
out of
and Darnold,
Michigan, national champion.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm sorry, the Kansas City Chiefs are the team that knocked Buffalo out. They did go on to beat Baltimore in the AFC Championship and then on, of course, to win the Super Bowl. That is the right answer, guys. Good job. Thanks, everybody, for participating on the board as well. Mike Derpy, anything if we start getting ready to wrap it up?
Derpy did kind of steal my thunder about the JJ McCarthy. I was going to throw that in there. It's an aside, but
Well, we'll talk about that for a second because I don't really have anything extra. So this, I mean that's big. Who's their quarterback? They brought him in being that he was
Sam Darnold is their backup
because they were content and they had good quarterback play, of course, from Cousins, and he goes to Atlanta. They draft this national championship quarterback, and now he's. I mean that's big news, guys. Right?
That's huge, yeah. And they don't know. He had a MRI today, so they don't know the extent of the injury yet. Just what I just saw.
Oh yeah.
Look up Schefter.
I'd be pulling my hair out if I was in Minnesota because they come on, this team's been trying to win for so long. They just can't. They can't put it together.
Yeah. So he is having surgery. It's just going to be the extent of the surgery. How will determine how long he's out. Yeah.
Ooh, big blow to the
AFC or NFC North.
And also, Mike, with Jordan Addison with that DUI the other day, is he?
Yep.
Is there conduct that's going to be taking place?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on there. I haven't read anything recently about
you
that.
Be losing your mind if you're a Viking fan.
Oh yeah.
And you lost Danielle Hunter in the offseason and just oh my god.
Yeah.
And they were moving in the right direction. Well,
yeah.
That clears the way for Detroit and Chicago and Green Bay. I guess those other three teams are going to battle it out without Minnesota moving forward. It's going to be an interesting division over there in the NFC North. We're going to keep an eye on that as well. I do want to say, guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with us today and checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. We really, 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 really do. We wouldn't do it without you. Believe me. I want to thank everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting. Derpy, anything before we wrap it up, man?
The mistake by the Lakes, the Cleveland Clowns, rookie Michael Hall Jr. got arrested.
Oh wow,
domestic abuse, I believe.
Oh yeah.
And they had he was like someone that they had high hopes for, like potential steal later in the draft. Yeah,
I only know that because he's an Ohio State guy.
Interesting things going down, guys, in the
Yeah.
preseason so far with certain injuries and certain. It's going to be an interesting season. We are moving into it's officially week 2 of the preseason, even
Yeah.
though they played the Hall of Fame game. Guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. We have the Buffalo Bills coming to town here at the end of the week for joint practices with the Steelers, and then we'll be up against our Pittsburgh Steelers on Saturday evening at Acrisure Stadium. Everybody's fired up. Can't wait for this. I can't wait to see Russell Wilson and the rest of the guys out there. Mike, anything else from you before we roll, my man?
No, that's it, man.
Derpy, speak now.
Renegade is awesome. That's all I gotta say.
Yes.
Hey,
It
you
is
can.
awesome.
I do have to say, you can tell football season is back. Ryan and I are bitching about Steeler players that we both like.
You're right. Believe me, that doesn't happen often. But I do want to say this. I do want to say congratulations to Derpy. He did get up and see the Renegade experience for himself for the first time on Friday night, as he did go up to see the Steelers play the Texans. He said it was a great time, a great experience. He ran into our friend Brian Pasquale from over at One Man's Opinion on Sports, and really good time. How was Brian treat you well up there?
Yeah.
Good. Well, that didn't sound too confident.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to dig more into that tomorrow, and we will do that. But guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you guys don't have anything else,
Nope, man.
Nope.
all right. For Derpy, for Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, myself, the Two Dumb Yinzers. Everybody have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time. Pirates tonight. See if they can go for 9 straight in the loss column. Mike, we will keep on top of this Brandon Ayuk story. Very, very big story about to happen in Pittsburgh. I believe, me personally, I believe this, and we'll be back tomorrow. First thing to talk about it all.
No.
Everybody have a great day.
We'll be
Wait,
back
wait,
later in the
wait.
day. Remember,
What's up?
later in the day tomorrow. My kid has another doctor's appointment.
No, yeah.
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 Okay.
So we'll be back later in the day. But anyway,
Yeah.
nonetheless, we'll be back. We'll be
Yes.
talking all kind of
Oh yeah.
all kind of stuff. Hopefully we have good Brandon Ayuk stories to celebrate.
Oh, I hope so.
But other than that, everybody have a great day. The Two Dumb Yinzers. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.